Hi, I'm Rana El-Kayoubi. I'm co-founder and CEO of Affectiva. My entire career has been about building artificial emotional intelligence. And what drew me initially to this work is, I grew up in the Middle East. I have a background in computer science. And then I had the opportunity to move to Cambridge University to do my PhD. And that was my first living abroad experience. And when I got to Cambridge, I realized that I was spending more hours on my laptop at the time than I was with any other human being. Yet this machine, even despite our intimacy, had absolutely no idea how I was feeling. And that got me thinking, what if computers could understand our emotions? And I started thinking about the different applications of that kind of technology. And then from then on, I had the opportunity to meet Professor Rosalind Picard, who at the time, she had written the book Affective Computing and posited that sometime in the future, computers will need to respond and adapt to human emotion. And I just was fascinated by that idea. And we finally met in person in 2004. She invited me to join her lab at MIT Media Lab, where we focused on the application of emotion recognition technology to autism spectrum disorders and generally speaking, mental health. And so at the time, the project that brought me over to the US was this idea of an emotional hearing aid. So, people who have hearing problems wear hearing aids, but there's no equivalent if you have social and emotional problems like a person on the autism spectrum would. So we built these glasses that had a little camera in it. The camera faced outward, it was connected to a device, and in real time it processed the expressions of people you were interacting with and gave you real-time feedback. So if I was a kid on the spectrum and I really struggled with understanding how people felt around me, this thing would analyze your facial expressions in real time and give you feedback. So we piloted that technology at a school for autistic kids in Providence, Rhode Island, and it was pretty successful. So there were, we could see that the kids were making more eye contact, making more face contact, were curious about these expressions of emotion. But at the same time, being at MIT Media Lab, twice a year, we would invite all the member companies to see what we're up to. And we called it Demo or Die. And for about 3 years in a row, all these member companies would say, okay, this autism research is cool, but have you thought about applying it to advertising testing or, in automotive or in banking? And so I kept a log of all the different use cases. And when we got to 20, Roz and I thought, okay, there's something here. And we thought the solution was to just hire more research students. So we went to the Media Lab director at the time and we said, okay, we need 10 more research assistants because we're kind of ignoring our member companies here. And he said, no, it's time to spin out. This is a commercialization opportunity. So I was intrigued by this idea of taking emotion recognition technology and applying it in many different ways, in many different industries, and ultimately kind of fulfill this vision of an emotion-aware digital world.